What is going on, everyone? We're back again with another episode of the Southward Gamers Podcast. I am your host, Silverback Senpai. Across the table from me is my co-host, Waluigi.
Long time no see, folks. Glad to be back at it again.
Absolutely. And our guest for today is none other than Polybius. What is going on?
Not much. How about you?
Good. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's been a while since I've been to Flynn's. Actually.
Oh, yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah. I used to show up quite a lot for Smash tournaments. In fact, my first time commentating was here. Actually.
I respect that.
Yeah.
So this pretty much is your first time.
I had never seen this.
Yeah.
Entire era.
Yeah.
When we turned from just an arcade to an arcade and hobby shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That just goes to show how much time has passed.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of time has passed.
For sure.
But anyways, of course, as y'all already know, this episode of the podcast is going to be available on Spotify and all other audio hosting platforms. Just Google us, Southward Gamers Podcast, and you are most likely going to find us. And without further ado, as our normal tradition here on the podcast, we like to ask our guests what is their gaming background story. Like, hey, what got you into gaming? Give us that origin story.
My Joker origin story.
Oh, Lord.
Hey,
starting.
let's hear it. Go for it. The mic's all yours.
So, kind of a mundane start. Like, there was no specific event that got me into gaming. It was more, Mom got the GameCube and got some games for it, and I just hopped on. I do remember the very first game I ever played, and definitely one of the best is Pokemon Colosseum.
Oh,
Yes, that is a banger right
It
there.
is by far the best Pokemon game, period.
I could agree.
The story is really good. The soundtrack is amazing. I think Gen 3 was a really good generation for Pokemon soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, the Hoenn region.
Yeah.
Yes.
Steven's theme beats out some entire generations. Yeah, I love that game, and I played it a lot. And let's see, there's also some other stuff like Sonic Adventure 2.
Classic.
Okay.
We also had Melee, right? Items on, random stage, big DK, grounded down.
Hey, why
we're
not?
Just having a blast. As things went on, let's see. Been kind of just hopping back and forth to whatever games we got our hands on, like some Call of Duty. I think we got Modern Warfare 2.
Which console?
PlayStation.
Yeah. I forgot about Modern Warfare 2 on PlayStation recently.
Yeah. MW2. We got Black Ops. Love the zombies mode.
Yes.
Phenomenal. Then I'd say fast forward to around high school, I got into competitive Pokemon on singles, Smogon. I'd run. I really wasn't trying to get high ladder or anything. I was just trying to run some fun gimmicky sets.
Pokemon or Pokemon?
Oh, like
the
TCG or
VGC.
Oh,
VGC, okay,
I forgot they had a whole. Yeah, there were people who had their DSs, Switches, everything out.
For sure. Yeah, I'd bring what do you call it? Mega Metagross with only Explosion.
What?
That's the only move. And I chose Mega Metagross because Choice Metagross actually did less damage.
Oh.
Which was weird. They really overtuned that Pokemon. But yeah, and then I got into the Smash scene around it was definitely post-COVID, and I had, hero main for 2 plus years. Retired after Genesis, but then I wanted to come back, hang out with some friends, and then found out that when brackets started, there were no friendly setups, so now I enter brackets again. So
just to play with your friends?
yeah,
Damn.
I mean, could you imagine sitting there doing nothing for 3 hours and then waiting for friendly setups?
You're right. You might as well cook with your friends or cook your friends.
Exactly.
I get it.
For sure. Very brief overview. But yeah, that's basically it.
All right, so question.
What's up?
To further on your gaming origin story, what would you say is your favorite genre when it comes to gaming?
That's a tough one. It's really changed a lot over the years. I used to like FPS games. Okay. Titanfall 2 ruined it for me. That game was just too good.
What?
That game was just too good.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It was.
Every time now,
It
every
is-
time I play an FPS game or even something like Overwatch, it's like I just find myself wanting to play Titanfall again.
Yeah.
It was so good that it's just completely ruined the genre for me.
Okay, that makes more sense now. I
Yeah.
respect that.
It's yeah, and actually, fun fact. You know how like some people say like, oh, there was kind of a point where Call of Duty games started to get really bad,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? It was actually at that point that Infinity Ward had laid off some key people in their team.
Yeah. I
Those
remember.
people actually went off to create Respawn Entertainment, which
Yep.
made Titanfall,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? So now I know why the game is so good. But I would say nowadays, I'd say it's either I'd say platform fighter or TCG.
Oh,
Okay.
I respect that route.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and when I say those genres, it really is just like one game carrying them, right? But yeah, I mean, I used to do a lot of JRPGs, but you know, I've been kind of busy lately, so I can't really sink 60 hours into.
Yeah.
Dragon
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you on that because
Yeah.
JRPGs
They're the real time killer.
yeah, they are the real time killers. Usually, when you want a game, you just want like a really quick game, really quick sesh, just in and out.
I want to be able to start and stop in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell when that time is for JRPGs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. It's also like well meshed together.
Yeah, because I think when it comes to JRPGs, it's you don't want to make it a habit to where you start the game and then you have to stop and then you play some other games or whatnot. Then like, oh snap, I forgot that I got to go back to this game
Yeah.
again and try to finish it or whatnot. And then
Got to keep
you
like,
try
a
to finish.
spreadsheet of like,
Yep.
Yeah, and then you're
Where-
trying to keep up in your mind like, okay, where was the story gonna go again? Like it happens. It happens.
sure.
It
Yeah.
does.
Which is why when it comes to like those type of games, it's like you have to like sit down from start to finish.
Yeah, you really can't have any breaks or any detours
No.
in between. Yeah, I'd say that's a, you know, kind of a profound weakness in the JRPG genre, but I suppose that just due to my situation being super busy.
I understand,
It
but hey,
happens. It's
that,
part
that
of life.
yeah, it's adulting.
Yeah.
Adulting while being a gamer is just like it is so tough.
It is a challenge.
Yep. But yeah, I would say, yeah, definitely the quick ones like platform fighters or like trading card games or stuff like that are definitely where I'm at. Like playing Yu-Gi-Oh a lot.
Oh,
E- even
which format?
modern.
Okay, I was about to say.
I know, even though it's a tragically bad format right now.
I respect that.
I use yeah, you play Yu-Gi-Oh?
I've seen my buddies play Yu-Gi-Oh at Southside Gaming.
Ah, got it. Yeah,
That scares me.
I retired Yu-Gi-Oh. I retired Yu-Gi-Oh when Synchro Summon became a thing.
Oh wow.
So that was like, yeah, way back. So now when I look at Yu-Gi-Oh now, it is such
it's
a
unrecognizable.
it's so unrecognizable. It's just like I want to come back in, but when I'm seeing people getting finished in like they just
Sure.
in one turn, like bro, I didn't even get to draw my card yet, and I'm already dead. Like yeah,
You know what's crazy? It's like it went from like, oh, this game is gonna take 40 turns, but
yeah,
it's gonna take like 1 minute per turn, so it's gonna be 40 minutes.
yeah,
Now it's like it's still gonna take 40 minutes, but it's because that one turn is lasting 40 minutes.
yeah.
Right. But yeah,
Would be pissed.
I actually play a lot at ROK,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
which fortunately, unlike someplace like Pro Play Games where it's like you have like Ubel and to like Tempai and to whatever. This is actually a much lower power power level, I suppose. Like
skill.
yeah.
wise? Yeah. I got
exactly
what you
right. We're not running. We're running like rogue decks, right? You see some people splash cash and on stuff like that. But you know, it's generally a very approachable kind of meta game. I run like Shadal's, which is like a pretty old archetype. But anyway, yeah, there's that, and yeah, obviously still play Smash, like I said before.
Oh, very
Okay.
respectable.
So tell me your thoughts on Smash overall, just like from the very start, like when you first started playing Smash, and all up until now. Like, give us some of your insight on your experience just playing the game overall.
Well, I'd say the first thing of note is, you know, trying to find a main is something I had wanted to do long before I started competing,
Mm.
with no intention of competing. Right? It's just like I wanted to be able to like say, hey, if this game is at a friend's house or whatever, like I want to be able to like pick one character and be proficient at that character. But for probably like 15 years, no character has ever scratched that itch, right? And I quite frankly didn't even know what I wanted, so I'd been bouncing around like basically every different character, even into Ultimate, and then Hero came out,
Oh wow.
and then I ignored him for an entire year.
Wow.
Because I saw that character, I'm like, this guy looks like Robin. He's probably the same. And so a year in, after Hero came out, I had heard nothing about him. I hadn't even touched him. I'm playing with a friend, and I pick random. And I land on Hero. I get a whack at 10%, and I never looked back.
What?
Yes.
There's a there's a move that Hero does when he's like selecting.
Oh, yeah.
Like when he's like selecting his like attack or whatnot, and there's this move that's called whack where he just like throws out this black orb or whatnot.
Yeah.
If it touches the other
There's a chance
person,
you just explode.
it explodes and deletes the character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely like one of the most pun intended, wacky and most ridiculous moves. But you know, after I
It's like deaf.
it's instant death, just like that.
It's like what happened? Deaf.
yeah. What kind? Instant.
Yes.
But-
You just have to hope that
got
they,
the reference.
you just have to hope that the player does not jump over you as you're casting it out. Like I gotta catch you where it's just like you are within range.
Exactly. It's kind of hard to hit. But if it misses them, you can actually throw them into it.
That's
But
funny.
it is. So after I like picked up Hero, then I'm like, oh, what tournaments? Like, are there any tournaments for this game, right? And then I found stuff. I think I found NXT was the first one that I found, and then I just went from there. So it's kind of crazy how like the only reason I entered the Smash scene at all, and the only reason I'm here, is because quite literally a one in like 10,000 chance event of getting Hero in random and getting that 1% whack.
Yeah.
Right. So I suppose that's about as fitting an origin story for a Hero main as you could probably hope for.
Hey, it works. You found was like, you know what? I doubted this character and
No,
I used them in random and I was like, you know what?
I can.
I can cook with this character.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. Yeah.
He's pretty broken.
Yeah. Yeah. What a cheater character. I think I'm under the firm impression like a lot of people put him in mid tier. I noticed like Esam was one of the first people that started putting him in high tier.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's, no exaggeration, the single best character in the game.
Yeah.
And it's not close.
Okay.
And I think he's just so tragically underdeveloped, right? Because, you know, as good as Akaki Kusu is, as good as Bismo Paul is at the game, right? The reason that they're in such high, rankings with the character is because they know how to play the game really well.
Yeah.
I would say that, you know, there's not really much advancement in terms of tech or like new discoveries of what you can really do with this character, right? I think if you're asking for hero specific advice, I don't think they would be able to give that to you as much as, you know, game sense, you know, fundamentals, stuff like that. So this character is just tragically underdeveloped. Accelerator alone is just a ridiculous abyss of tech that you can do with it. You're literally faster than every other character in the game, even with their buffs, right? With Accelerator. So it really is just, once again, people are going to say it's like, oh, it's like Shulk. It's like Mr. Potential. I'm really serious this time. It's genuinely not something to be slept on.
Yeah.
But it's got a high skill ceiling to it.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I could rant about it for like more time than we have, but I'm gonna stop it there.
No, you can. You're good. Like the mic is on you. The floor is yours. I mean,
All right.
talk it.
Another common misconception, and this goes to the highest levels and to mid level, is that because Hero uses RNG, that automatically makes him an inconsistent character.
I've heard that. I've heard that argument
Yeah.
before.
I've heard this with other characters as well.
So, I you'd have to agree that if you take that position, you'd have to agree that every time you beat a hero player, you just got lucky, which not a lot of people are willing to admit because it's not true, right? You outplayed him.
Yeah.
Sure, there was RNG involved.
Yeah.
And for like maybe 1 out of 100 games, you'll have this guy like top deck kamikaze into like Hocus Pocus Clang off stage,
Mhm.
right? And you'll just have like the most tragic series of events unfold. But 99 times out of 100, right? That variance produced from the RNG is not nearly enough to meaningfully affect the course of a game,
Right.
right? It's kind of like if you're like at last hit with someone and you make like one critical mistake that causes you to get hit on that last part, you tend to over centralize your focus on what made me mess up that time and not all the times prior, right? So I feel like that kind of has like the same effect as that kind of recency bias would have. But if you look at it's easy to say like, oh, you can just not use the RNG like Beast Mode Paul or Kakikusu. But even if you look at like my record, right? I click Hocus Pocus every single time I see it, without fail. The only exception being is if I need zoom, then I'll click it over Hocus Pocus because what good is Starman if you're just gonna die off the side?
Yeah.
Right? So, if you look at my record, it's not good, but it's consistent.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's a pretty strong case for this character to be experimented with more often.
Yeah. No, yeah, I definitely agree because when I do look at other Smash players and I do see some people who use Hero, I tend to look at them as, okay, how optimal can you play with this character? And the situations that you're going to be in and how well you're going to adapt. Because some people, they would, when it comes to using hero skills, they'll usually do it out of panic.
Yeah.
Where they're like at a panic state to where it's like, okay, I just got two stocked. Now I'm freaking out. It's just like, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, calm down, take a breath or whatnot. Just play carefully.
Of course.
And then you can turn a situation around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll find that you have more than enough time to read the menu if you just have enough space.
Yeah.
Right. And I think when you're playing like zoner characters, it's specifically against rushdown matchups, it's really a lot of those kinds of matchups are very largely a mental game, because what the other player wants to do, not to your character but to you as a player, is to make you panic and to make bad options.
Yeah.
Right. And with hero, decision making is 99% of that character. Right. So if they can rush you down, and if you open up your menu at a bad time, you're gonna be panicked and you're not gonna be able to read all the options correctly. Right. So, and hero has like more than enough boxing tools. Like, he's not Snake or Rob or
No.
anything like that,
Yeah.
but he can make it work.
Like, yeah, you can hold your own with hero.
For sure. Like in the Roy matchup, I actually recently moved that from -2 to -1, because of just how well we can box Roy.
Oh.
So there's that. There's also just like the character's toolkit is just too much to pass up. Like, bounce alone just shuts down like entire characters. Including like Snake at sometimes, right? If you're comboing Snake, that frame run grenade is absolutely devastating unless you have a move that, maybe for some reason would just automatically reflect it without having you think, right? We have that in bounce, and that is really dumb. That should not be allowed on a character.
No.
Right? The idea that Snake's combo breaker is, for us, a combo extender is ridiculous. So just being able to put yourself in the right situations with Hero's boxing tools to be able to open up that menu and be able to get the buffs you need, or even extra projectiles just to fend them off. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, tragically underdeveloped character that I really hope to see more of in the future.
Okay. And going forward, before we move on to our next topic, I do want to ask, what are since, of course, we all know that the Nintendo Switch 2, it has been announced and it's been revealed and whatnot.
Yeah.
We know that sooner or later we're going to get another Smash game.
Mhm.
What are you hoping to expect to see in another Smash game?
Alrighty then. So I would say, first and foremost, a better training room. I would like to see some character-specific options, depending on like which character is there, because I pretty much never lab things out, but when I do, it's always some like silly stuff, right? Um, you know, but whenever I'm trying to lab stuff out with, let's say I'm trying to lab out a real combo, I have to open up the menu and look for buffs manually, right? And then I have to account for crits. So in total, any meaningful combo, I'm gonna have to lab out 8 times to figure out what percents they work at. That work would be significantly cut down if I could just automatically apply them at the start, kind of like the training mod, right? If Nintendo just took some notes on the training mod and implemented that into the next Smash game, I think that would really help out the competitive scene a lot. But in terms of like other things, I've heard people say it's like, oh, what if the roster got cut? I don't think that's. I think given the scaling at which the Switch 2 would probably perform, I'm thinking that I don't know if it's going to be able to keep up with more roster. So if you're going to add new characters in the game, there are some that are going to have to be cut out.
Yeah.
I think I've seen a lot of people like exclude Hero from that, which is kind of ridiculous.
Damn.
Yeah, because here's the thing: if you're gonna have any JRPG representative there, it's got to be that guy.
Yeah.
So I'd like to, first and foremost, before the training mod, actually, I would like to see Hero remain in the game. That guy is the reason I play this game. And if he's just not in it and there's no viable substitute, I can't see myself competing, right? In any kind of level. But I would say more modes. More modes, like Smashdown was awesome, right? Squad Strike was great. I think, I think a co-op adventure would be great, just like Subspace Emissary. Stuff of that nature. I think more items would be awesome. Bring back Transformation Final Smashes, right?
Oh, those classics. Like
Yeah.
Bowser, for example.
Exactly, right? Stuff like that. I think stuff to appeal more to the casuals, right? Because what that ends up doing is that ends up giving us a wider array of side events to possibly include,
Yeah.
right? And that's going to be really fun. I know near the beginning of Smash Ultimate, we had a lot of like side events like Squad Strike or, or even nowadays you still have like doubles and whatnot. But I feel like this very closely relates into the topic of what do I think about the Smash scene today, and it's if we had more game modes like that, more fun and engaging game modes, I think that could possibly spice up the competitive scene and could make it last longer with more, I suppose, more fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Because right now it's kind of like we kind of have as much of this game figured out as we probably will reach.
Right.
Right. That being said, it's not a solved game by any means, but I don't know if people are going to be willing to push that. Right. It's things are growing, unfortunately, a little bit stale, which is unfortunate because we're playing such a small subset of what the game actually is. Right. Turn on items, you instantly have a super fun side event.
Yeah.
Put on Squad Strike, you're having yourself a blast. Right. There's Special Smash, right? With like, Bunny Hood, Metal, Curry, whatever kind of options you want. And honestly, Special Smash alone gives you just such a variety, right? You could have a bracket to say, hey, randomize all the Special Smash options, right, for every set, right? But, just a lot more casual stuff I would like to see added to the game. Yeah, and I don't really have anything specific, right? It's just to go more in that direction, because I think they really killed it with Subspace Emissary. I think they really killed it with like All-Star mode, right? They've been doing a really nice progression as the game's gone on, and I'd like to see that continue.
Okay. All right, that's good. That's good. All right, moving on to our next topic, which I think you've pretty much touched up on a little bit, and that is, what is your current thoughts on the state of gaming?
So the state of gaming as a whole, or Smash?
Either or.
Okay. I'll start with Smash.
Okay.
I think, I was originally going to say this about SFL, but I think the whole Smash community really suffers from this, and is that a lot of people have kind of forgotten how to have fun.
I believe that.
And
I can definitely relate to that a lot.
That's
Like,
a valid state, because I've read from like certain tweets as well.
Yeah.
like I think that is a really big thing, and I think even here in South Florida, I think people are just forgetting how to have fun
Agreed.
They just
because because they just go to compete, or they won't go to certain places or go to certain events because it's just like, well, if there's not going to be anyone interesting there, then I'm just not going to go. I'm not.
Exactly. There's no challenge there. And
Yeah.
you know what's interesting is this is actually a phenomenon that occurs outside of gaming, and it actually occurs way more often than we would initially think. Is at least what I would like to call the solving for X problem. If you're engaging in a certain activity or you're trying to create something, you're going to solve for X.
Yes.
You're having a specific purpose in mind.
Yeah.
The problem with this is that once you focus too hard on that, very important things start to fall to the wayside, right? This happens with this happens a lot with businesses trying to get into technology. They're not doing it for the love of the game. Their X is make money, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine in and of itself, but sometimes businesses will hyper focus on that, and important things fall to the wayside, like functionality, right, and stuff like that. So when you have these people who, competition is very much in our blood,
Yeah.
right? So when you go to an event with the purpose of competing, that's X. And what you find a lot of people doing is because they're surrounded by other people with the common goal of competing, that makes hyper focusing a lot easier, right? That it makes it more common. So stuff like having a good time, or in some extreme circumstances, you have some. It's pretty rare that I've seen in the Smash community, but you've seen sometimes you'll see people cheat, right? And it's just do whatever you got to do to win, right? And I suppose there's kind of a necessity for that at the higher level, but at mid level, it's just you have access to so much other potential for what this could do that people at the higher ups can't really do, right? Because they've kind of locked themselves into that by nature of just who they have made themselves to be to the public, right? No, if you go 0-2, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you go 0-2, nobody cares. Have a good time. That's why the moment I hit the Smash scene, I was asking people the gentleman to Woohoo Island, because I just wanted something good, right? I remember walking in and just seeing every single setup had PS2 on it. I'm like, come on, guys. There are other stages. I understand you don't want to go 75M, but
That's awkward.
Woohoo Island never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say people have forgotten how to have fun, with regards to the Smash community, and I'm hoping, through my antics and gimmicks, I can kind of try to breathe some new life into that. Maybe host a free for all bracket. I think that'd be really cool.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, so on the fly you start making alliances, and then it's wait, why are you ganging up on me?
It's
What?
forget the alliance.
Exactly. So, with the state of gaming in general, I feel like bits and pieces of that have resonated elsewhere in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think with competitive gaming specifically, and it's it's just the nature of the beast. I think Smash struggles particularly hard with this due to the fact that it's a very high skill ceiling game,
Yeah.
right? And we genuinely do it for the competition, right? When you have games like, I don't know, Valorant or Dota 2 or something, big titles like that have a lot of funding and whatnot, the incentive could be to win for money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Here, there's no such incentive, right?
Yeah.
We're kind of on our own, and we're actually winning for the sake of winning, right? So that's another factor that makes it really easy to zero in on that. But I feel like that's also the case, but less so with other genres of games. I think there's a kind of seriousness that is only sometimes warranted with gaming in general that would bring about that kind of stuff. I think off the top of my head, the place where I've seen this happen the least is actually Pokemon VGC doubles. Remember, had that guy Seijin Park bring Pachirisu and win, right? Sometimes you see funky stuff, right? And I think that's due to a constantly evolving and shifting metagame, whereas this has kind of remained static for 5 years for the most part. So yeah, much of the same, but to a lesser extent.
Okay. All right.
Alright.
Kind of a bleak outlook, but identifying the problem is the first step to fixing it.
Yeah,
That's what I
definitely.
said.
Because even myself as a tournament organizer, I'm seeing that becoming more prevalent to where people who compete in games, whether it be fighting games or FPSs or MOBAs or whatnot, you hear them. It's like you hear them complain more about the game rather than I am enjoying the game. I'm having a
Yeah.
good time with this game. I'm having fun with this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's becoming more prevalent. And then when you ask, and then when you tell them like, well, if you're not enjoying this game, why do you keep playing? It's just like, well, because I just have a love hate relationship with this game. So it's just like,
You're setting yourself up for the same loop.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then I can see that growing into something toxic for that
Yeah.
person, to where it's like now it's a drug. It's like
Yeah,
I hate this
exactly.
game. I don't want to play this game, and
I
then they
love
start
this game.
and then they start having withdrawals, and they're just
Yeah,
like, all right, now I got to go back and play a couple of matches or
Yeah,
whatnot.
they become more like unconsciously compelled to do it rather than
Yeah.
Yeah.
hey, I'm bored, let's do something fun. Right?
Yeah,
Um, but yeah.
yeah, and especially when it comes to like the local scenes or whatnot, like people like even when you try to have like fun side events, oh, no one wants to sign
Yeah.
up for them.
The,
No one wants to
the
compete for
registration
them.
rate is super low.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's just like we're trying to do something different. We're trying to appeal to more people, so that way, for those who typically go 0-2, I don't want them to feel like,
No.
well, that's just it. You went 0-2, you can just all right,
Yeah.
Go
see,
home.
see you next week or whatnot.
And that's why I think ROK does this. I'm sure other venues have picked it up. They've been doing redemption brackets.
Yeah.
If you go like 2-2 or less, you go to a separate bracket, right, to duke it out. And I think that's super cool. Right?
Yeah.
I think that was really like a phenomenal idea to get some of the worst players interested. Right?
Yeah.
Such as myself, I love the redemption bracket. Nothing felt better than going 0-2 and then just ruining redemption bracket.
Yeah. You just ruin people's day.
Exactly.
It's like you want to get good, then get good. Then after you win
Exactly.
the redemption bracket, it's funnier.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you're right. Even if we do have these like side events, the attendance is going to be super low.
Yeah.
I'm kind of struggling to really come up with fun ways to spice up the scene, right? Other than just going in there and being that guy that will do stupid stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
I think you have to make that impact first, then get the people.
Exactly, right? Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to do it. If you're like in the Smash scene and like you're also thinking this is to like, hey, if you're at least decently good at the game, go for the clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It really is that simple.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the really super talented players have kind of lost that, and they're just like not like some of them just don't even know how to go for the clip. If we're being honest, right? Yeah, I mean, like just do funny stuff, and I'll be the first one to say this. I'm definitely carried in that regard of like playing to get the clip, because my character does so much work for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get clips by accident nowadays. Like, I really don't need to try that hard.
It does it for you.
Exactly. Just
Hey, as long as the clip looks good.
exactly.
I think that's what's missing, and even when you look at content, especially like Smash related content,
Mhm.
like I enjoy Smash when it's just like when there's like something really funny happens, and then of course you can put like some memes around it, which
Yes.
which amplifies it even
For
more.
sure.
But when it's like a well played or well executed match or a clip or whatnot, it's just like
Yeah, I don't.
okay,
Yeah, I don't want to have to understand the inner workings of players' minds in order
Yeah.
to appreciate a clip.
yeah,
That being said, when it happens, it's great. But like, I want more stupid stuff.
yeah. Yeah, like I want to laugh at some of the stupid stuff that happens as well, whether it be in Smash or any other competitive game. Like I want to see something stupid, because I think that like, especially if you have like a crowd of people that are watching, people would react to that even more and will remember that
Yeah.
more, rather than you just had played a really nice clip or a set right here.
Exactly. And I think it's what presents itself is very hopeful, and on the other side of that same coin is tragic. that Smash has a unique ability to get clips. Has
Yes.
a unique ability to be fun and exciting to watch. Because
I
if
agree.
you're playing something like Call of Duty, what potential clips do you really have?
Just a kill cam.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Granted, maybe people in the scene will see clips differently than I do, but you know, there's Smash definitely has more potential to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Just because of the fluidity of the game.
Yeah.
Right. So it really is tragic that that isn't the case, despite how much we have access to. But at the same time, it's kind of hopeful because it's like, yeah, we have access to that. Look at stuff like MOBAs. Look, if you like League of Legends, fine. If you like Pokemon Unite, whatever, that's fine. It's something about watching a point-and-click adventure game is not fun to me.
No,
No.
it's not.
Right? It's not a great user
I think it's the streamer.
experience.
I think it's whoever's streaming and presenting it that can make it fun.
Yeah, but that's more the streamer
Yeah.
taking something.
Yeah, but if you're at a tournament and watching this and they're all locked
it's-
in, it just gets boring.
It's
Like, I want to go.
mind-numbing. It's
I just-
mind-numbing.
I just want to grab a blanket and some pillows.
Exactly.
A
I'm immune.
friend of mine literally made me watch the league finals last year, and I'm just like, this is boring.
Why
as
are you
hell.
guys cheering?
And I'm just like,
Nothing
what's
happened.
going on? Did he hit something? No,
Yeah.
he's just farming. I'm like, this is dumb as fuck.
That's right. I forgot you were.
League.
Sorry, it's the point-and-click JRPG.
It's not even a JRPG. It's just an RPG of who's surviving.
Yeah. Wow.
I get it. It's just like you have to find that game. You have to find the people, the right type of entertainment.
Of course.
Because when it comes to content creating, it could be what you're doing, or
Exactly. It could be stuff.
or
you
what
add
you got
to it.
yourself into.
Right.
And most people fall into what you got yourself into from getting clipped. I'm one of those people too. Like every time I'm at Flynn's, I'm gonna try to clip.
That's what's up.
I'm gonna rob and get clipped and have a good time doing it.
Absolutely.
Because I remember a while back, like some people used to go to the same venues just to compete for Smash and such,
Uh-huh.
and then they would just leave afterwards.
Yeah.
And then there's also casuals.
For sure.
Like if you stream casuals as well, you can see what people got themselves into before a tournament,
yeah. Exactly.
which is even far funnier.
Yeah. For sure.
And I think
But-
for redemption brackets, I think TNS does one online too.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
nice.
people who go into locals that don't have one, or going online and doesn't have one, TNS includes one.
Nice. That's really cool, actually. But yeah, just Smash inherently has that. You don't really need a streamer. You could just have gameplay,
Yeah.
and you just laugh a lot at certain clips.
Oh my god,
just
the
by-
YouTube videos and the TikTok clips are incredible.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I've
For
been
sure.
watching Minecraft Steve ones, and somehow they make him go harder than like a normal character.
Okay, I want to talk about Steve real quick. Kind of an unpopular opinion.
Go
Go
for
for
it.
I love Steve. He's so funny.
Yes.
Yes.
I think the Steve that people hate and the Steve that I'm thinking of are two completely different Steves. Coming back to that dichotomy of playing for the clip versus playing to win. They're thinking of the playing to win Steve because that's all they've ever seen. I'm talking about the Twitter clip Steve. I'm
Yeah.
talking about the one who like builds a Rube Goldberg machine to get something done that could have been done in like 5 seconds.
That will
right?
kill you immediately.
Exactly, right? Or when he goes up to the bottom of the stage, blows himself up, and then just does like a nil forward smash or something like
Yes.
that. It's like, what? This is
These
the
are the
most
most-
Tom and Jerry Mickey Mouse character
It's the
I've
most
ever seen.
unhinged.
I agree, and I think if people had that mindset of getting the clip, Steve would be such a super fun character to watch.
I agree.
Right? I would say few characters have access to so many different creative approaches than Steve does, right? It's really it really is impressive from like a software development standpoint how you can create a character with so many different options, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like, and also like obviously there's some bugs with Steve like PMLG like, and honestly I'm not surprised that they hadn't caught that because imagine having to playtest Steve, right? Yeah, you already get the idea,
Yep.
right? Yeah, test everything,
Yeah.
all the setups.
But I love how Sakura's like, yeah, this is it. You're
Yep.
just gonna have to hold that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm fine with that. And honestly, I want to say this: there's a lot of bias for me here, not because like I don't play the character. I'm not good enough at the game to play the character technically. But if Hero didn't exist and I was good at the game, I would be a Steve player for sure. But I think part of the bias is because Hero has an insanely good matchup against Steve. It actually isn't a fair matchup at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, people were looking for like Steve killers like a couple years ago, and I'm like, how has nobody brought this character up? Like Sizzle is just like the breach and clear explosive that the SWAT team uses before coming in. Right? before I charge at you with like, oomph, psych up, accelerate, bounce, right? Um, but yeah, he just genuinely just beats Steve in like all the categories: offense, camping, right? Campy Steve's can't win because our buffs are simply better. There's also that very famous instinct of Steve players to down air and disadvantage. And bounce worked wonderfully because I have to think just about as much as they do when doing that. Yeah, just the advantage state for Hero and the disadvantage state for Steve is genuinely not comparable, and that's in Hero's favor. Because and that's saying a lot considering how broken Steve's disadvantage state is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I really love that character. I think if we had somebody who was just really hell bent on clipping people, like as hell bent on clipping people as most people are at winning, I think we could have like the most entertaining player to watch in Smash history.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah. Oh, crew battles. Those are another thing you could put in there.
Yes.
Those are fun to
Battles
watch.
are wonderful, because unlike squad strike or singles, you kind of have to play the game with your team, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's not at the same time like doubles, right?
It's
They're-
1v1.
Exactly, right? And for me, like I've kind of by accident kind of garnered like a small reputation of like, yeah, I'm like really bad at the game in locals. I'll go 0-2, but for some reason I'm just insanely cracked at crew battles.
It'd be like that.
It do be like that.
You're
It'd
compensating.
be like that.
It's
Yeah,
compensation.
exactly.
Or in exchange.
But like, I like went to a crew battle in Southwest Florida. We're doing like 4 regions, right? 2 regions versus 2 regions, and I thought that was really cool. And it was like all of their top ranked players, and then you just see like 4 of our top ranked players, and then Polybius. People were like, "Who is this guy?" But I ended up doing pretty well there, and I've been trying to figure out why. Right? It's like why can't I? Back when I was like actually competing, I was like, okay, why can't I figure this out? Right? Like why can't I bring crew battle Polybius to locals? Right? And I kind of like figured it out over time. Are you guys familiar with the melee player Isai?
Eastside.
Heard of him.
No.
He was a Falcon player, really good. Like one of the few people able to like really like control Falcon at that speed in melee. And like he didn't really try a whole lot, but like he was really cracked at doubles. And I think he really put it best when he said like, yeah, you're not playing for yourself, you're playing for somebody else, right? There's kind of like when I'm at locals, I'm like, okay, I'll go 0-2, who cares, right? I'm not trying to be competitive. I'm not trying to win. I'm not trying to go to majors or whatnot, or at least not trying to go to majors and do well.
I get it.
But when I'm in a crew battle or I'm in doubles, right? It's like, oh, the things I do in this game are going to affect the people behind me, right? So there's kind of that like accountability aspect of like, okay, you can't just like slouch and
Yeah.
do whatever. So
When it comes to 1v1s, you have to take accountability.
for sure, and I'm
It's
just like,
a lot of mental.
I don't really care if I win or not.
Yeah. But then with somebody else, like, you can't let them down.
Exactly.
You got to at least look good doing it.
Exactly.
'Cause
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
getting walked on, at least look good doing it.
Exactly.
That's what I learned
My
first
stocks
person.
are their stocks.
Exactly. Lives are in stake.
For sure.
All right. Our next topic is you had to be there moments. What moments in gaming or even Smash
You have a
that
story.
you had to be there? So
All right, we're
so tell us.
you had to be there.
Yeah, a moment that you know what you had to be there for this moment.
All right.
So give us your
So,
story.
The first one I'll give is actually competitive Pokemon, like
Mhm.
way back when.
okay.
So are you guys like just generally familiar with competitive Pokemon? Or?
I'm not.
I have a brief aspect of
Okay,
it.
so I'll explain things a little bit more in depth so you can understand what's going on. So I did what's called a draft league a while back, and a draft league just essentially like you have pretty much every Pokemon available, and people take turns picking which Pokemon they want on their roster, right? I think it's like 12 or 15 Pokemon you have, and then you just bring 6 to a battle, right? And I wanted to do some funny stuff, predictably. Um, so I went and got like some really low tier Pokemon. Like I got Alolan Persian as one of them.
Oh,
At the time, there was a Pokemon called Landorus Therian. That character was used everywhere. It was really annoying. And a while back, I had come up with a set that perfectly counters that, and nobody else. Right? So instantly, I picked up Alolan Persian and a few other of my favorites like Golur, Karakos, and the like. And it came to I had to fight like week 3. I had to fight this guy using a rain team, and I told him before the match, I said, bold of you to presume that you'll get rain, right? So like rain is like a weather status condition,
yeah.
sort of that would boost the
Water type moves, right?
boost water type moves and would nerf fire type moves. And there are Pokemon with abilities such as Swift Swim that would double its speed in the rain. So there are whole rain teams, right? Teams focused around that weather, right? And he had a Pokemon called Pelipper with the ability Drizzle. A Drizzle automatically sets up rain. So it's crucial to have this on rain teams, right? And it's automatic. You don't have to use a turn to do it, right? So I said, bold of you to assume you get rain up. And everybody was dogging on me like, what are you talking about? He has Pelipper, right? He's going to get rain up. So in comes the battle. I lead with a Alolan Persian. I get, first turn, I outspeed him. I get a Technician boosted Shockwave, which he's 4 times weak to. And it just insta-kills him, right? He got rain up, but he just lost Pelipper. But he's like, that's kind of a bad loss. But you know what? I got rain up. It's fine. The next turn I use Sunny Day. so I can override the rain. And then
You hard countered.
Nobody at the time knew this, right? And it was news to me when I was building the set. Persian learns Petal Blizzard. So I just used Petal Blizzard like 3 times, and I take out 2/3 of his team with like one of the worst Pokemon in my roster. I ended up winning like, what do you call it? I ended up like 4-0ing or 5-0ing the guy.
That's sick.
It was ridiculous, and like the worst Pokemon in my team was like the biggest MVP.
That's so funny.
There were a lot of people watching, and they were freaking out.
Like they could not process what happened.
No, neither could the guy I was fighting. So that's the first one. I would say it was my first crew battle. It was when Saberk was doing tier breakers. And we were doing the final bracket, which is just all the teams got into a double elim bracket. And the first one I went to, I took like 5 stocks, right? And I was like, yeah, well, that's pretty good, right? Like, I was kind of nervous going into it, right? But I took 5 stocks, and I'm like, that's really good, right? But I'm like, has to be like a fluke or something like that. That's not, surely that won't happen again, right? So I go up against they were actually the number 1 seed, was the next round. And it was Wolf, who's the Peach player, and then it was Danny, the Peach player, then Wolf, another Peach player, and then it was Archmage, the Kazuya Robin. And Hotloff went first, lost, but he had taken 2 stocks. I took 1 from Danny. Over the course of like 6 super excruciating minutes of like, if I get touched by Peach, I'm gonna die. I managed to crawl back and take 3 stocks from, what do you call it? From Wolf, the other Peach main, right? I had 1 stock left, right? So I'm like, you know what? I got 4 stocks. Even if I drop this completely the next game, I'm still good, right? I still did really well. So I'm fighting Archmage. He doesn't go Kazuya. He goes Robin. Which might be kind of a weird pick to some, but honestly, I get it. The Kazuya matchup's really miserable for Kazuya. Sorry, the hero matchup's miserable for Kazuya. That matchup's like even on FD. It's really bad. So we're duking it out, going back and forth. He sets up a tech situation at the ledge, and neutral get up. He instantly catches this, grabs me, throws me off stage. I DI out on purpose, right? So that I can go into the margins of the blast zone to look for Zoom. And the way it works is Zoom has a set chance of appearing in your menu. But if you're on the sidelines where the bubble shows up, right? Um, it's actually goes to like 53%, right? And if you pull menu 3 times, that's about 95% you'll get zoom. I don't get zoom, but I get thwack.
What?
So he chases after me, and I don't see zoom in my menu, but I'm like, this works. This might work, and then I just instantly kill him. He's just gone. Right now, the best part of this is I didn't actually reach the part of the blast zone where you would see the character in the bubble. I had gotten to that like really fine
Oh.
line where you can't see the character at all. So you didn't see Hero wind up for 20 something frames. All you saw was him throw me off stage, chase me, and then disappear. It was amazing. And predictably, like the was it Christoph Jonas and Kawhi were like freaking out over comms. Right? To be fair, everybody was.
That is something to freak out about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It's what do you call it? It's just the speed at which that happened was insane.
Yeah.
And then the last one happened somewhat recently. It was like a week or two before I retired, and I was doing doubles, and I didn't have a doubles partner because I showed up last minute.
Mhm.
So I'm like, just put a level 9 hero CPU, and like put on start GG. Just call it MK Leo, right? I thought that would be really funny. So I go on stream. I go against Anathema and Sure Hyper.
Oh.
Oh is right.
Oh.
So like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get my behind handed to me right here, and so I'm like, I have an idea. So I do round starts. I do short hop, a fully charged side B, right? Kazap, right? Super strong move, does like 40% or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, this will be fun to get some damage off. What I didn't realize at the moment is that my teammate, the CPU, had his menu open. The very start of the game, he opened his menu. My Kazap sends him over to him, and he clicks Kamikaze, and he kills Sure Hyper instantly. Nobody in the room, myself included, could believe my eyes. If you go, in fact, I went back to that VOD, and afterwards, after he died from that, he just put down the controller and like,
What?
yeah. It was amazing. I actually have that clip on my Twitter, and I put a sound bite of Fallout New Vegas where that guy was saying, "Truth is, the game was rigged from the start."
That's nuts.
Yeah. And what was even more insane is I actually almost won that game. My teammate got knocked out really quickly, so I was in a 2v1 versus Sure Hyper and Anathema, and I brought Anathema to like almost 80% on his last stock.
That's good.
It was ridiculous.
That would have scared the hell out of him. It's like, yeah, I'm about to get cooked by a CPU, and I would not hear the end of this.
It was, I don't, what do you call it? Lilac actually like came to me afterwards. It's like, dude, what happened? Did your luck just like spread onto the CPU? I still have
A
no
W is a W.
Yep.
Yeah,
As long as it works.
I didn't think that was in the CPU's programming to be willing to sacrifice a stock for anything. But yeah, those were like the ones I could come up with off the top of my head. There's a bunch of other ones
Yeah,
just due to the
that's-
nature of the character.
That's iconic as hell. I feel like I've seen or heard about that from somebody
yeah.
on Twitter.
But yeah.
All right, next topic. What are your gaming pet peeves? What are some things that just irk you,
Grind
annoy
your
you,
gears.
grind your gears? What's your gaming pet peeves?
All right, this one is going to be pretty specific to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay.
This typically happens on Master Duel a lot.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so what would happen is like if I'm at, let's say I'm at like, I don't know, 2,000 life points and I have nothing on my field, nothing in my hand, like genuinely no tricks up my sleeves, and you have the ability to go for a game right there and you keep just comboing off, that is an automatic disconnect for me. I'm not gonna sit through your 40-minute combo so that you can do what you could have done before the 40-minute combo, right?
I think I get what you mean by that. Because granted, I myself I've retired from the game, but I do know some of my friends that do play Master Duel. So you could correct me on this.
Mhm.
Is it where they're just like stacking cards and getting all
Yep.
these combos and doing all this other stuff, and you're just like, bro, I'm literally wide open.
Yeah,
Hit me.
I'm gone. This is game, and I think the really insidious part of this is that yeah, people will disconnect for toxic reasons. So Master will put in a system in place where if you quit,
Mhm.
you don't get any like, there's like a battle pass or whatever. You don't get any experience for
Oh
that.
yeah.
You don't get any of the after game loot. But if you wait it out and you lose like normally, then you'll get something,
Right.
right? So I'm always just torn between that. It's like, ugh,
It's like, do I want to get something or a whole lot of nothing?
exactly. Is this worth 40 minutes of my time? um,
Is
But
it
yeah,
yes?
that's one of them. I don't think I really have anything for Smash specifically.
None of the stinky Smash player allegations.
Huh?
None of the allegations that most people had like many years ago.
Like what?
Deodorant.
Actually,
There we
I
go.
remember this one. It's not a pet peeve of mine. It was an opportunity for some really high level comedy.
Oh Lord.
I would sometimes if I just encountered a super sweaty player, I'd be like, GG's. I'd hand him a stick of deodorant. I just keep some in my backpack.
That's the realest thing I've ever heard.
I'd keep some in my backpack. I'm like, good games. You've earned this. So yeah,
That is
opportunity
rich.
for comedy. But what do you call it? I'd suppose it's like if there's like a nothing local happening, I can understand if it's like a pre-local before a major, you want to get some practice in. You want to, if your next round is like MKLeo, you want to fight him, so you don't want to get cheesed by some really BS gentleman agreements.
Yeah.
But if it's a nothing local, if it's like, arcade local number 50 billion, and you're gonna be doing the same stuff over and over again, and I offer some variety, like, hey, let's gentlemen to Woohoo Island, and specifically when the player is far better than me and would whoop me on any stage, and then they just turn it down. It's just it goes back to that like don't know how to have fun thing.
Yeah.
It's like really, I suppose it kind of carries the same kind of vibe as the why won't you kill me in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? It's like yeah, you know you're gonna win. Why not
Yeah.
have some fun while doing it?
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, I mean I don't really have any glaring pet peeves. It's just generally been a good time.
Good.
Good. Well, Luigi, what about you? You have any gaming pet peeves of this week or?
For 2025? No.
Does he have one like every year or?
No. We always try to find something new.
Oh, okay, cool.
We always try because we
I'll-
always
I'll
have
be
the
on the
basic
lookout.
disconnections. We've had like
Yeah.
rude comments, unnecessary banter. I mean, I guess
Rule sharking maybe.
yeah.
It's not-
Rule sharking is needed sometimes.
True. You know what I love to do is, I would like to do, and eventually I will do, is if somebody in Yu-Gi-Oh, if somebody is rule sharking you enough, you can actually rule shark them back by calling the TO over and saying, or calling the judge over and saying, Judge, he's delaying he's delaying the game.
Oh my god, I got to do that.
Yeah, it's really funny. And I know that if I go to a YCS, I will encounter that, and I cannot wait
Oh,
because that's gonna be awesome.
be deadly. I'm sure I'm gonna have one pop out. Do you have anything new for you?
Gaming pet peeves.
I'm trying to think.
I mean, with what Polybius said, I do agree with. Yeah, people just need to have more fun.
Yeah.
My gaming pet peeve is people complaining about. I would say, and this is just for like competitive players. Like, have fun with the game. Can we have more fun events? Because when people stop having fun, you know what ends up happening? People stop going to locals.
Exactly. Look at CFL. They just recently lost a lot of their good players.
Really?
That scene got gutted
Wow.
pretty much overnight.
That's insane.
Like some of the players moved. Beast Mode Paul is playing Marvel Rivals. So like there's like not a lot of stuff up there in terms of like top players. I remember Esam moved. I think. I might be wrong on that, but yeah, it's been kind of making the rounds on Twitter and whatnot. For the one time in like few weeks I've checked it. But
Yeah, and I see it on my timeline too, and I'm just like, do y'all do y'all play games to stress yourselves out to get
Yeah.
your blood pressure high, or do you just play games to have fun?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say there's still you guys only play 10% of this game,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Turn on some items. I get no like for example the Ramblin' Evil Mushroom. You turn that off. I hate having my controls reversed.
That's true.
Yeah, so I understand not all items are fun, but like put a couple beast balls in there.
Get the trophies out.
Yes.
Be a man.
Oh, for Smash 6, have the ability to turn on and off certain assist trophies and turn on and off certain Pokemon. I think that would in the rules. I think that would just be really cool.
okay,
Right.
okay.
Maybe another buildable. But yeah,
I'm stuck.
Yeah, yeah. For me, that I would say that'd be my biggest pet peeve
Yeah.
is just
If you're not
people,
taking-
not just like competitive gamers. I'm just saying just gaming overall. Like, if the game is pissing you off, if the game is making you feel upset,
stop playing it.
stop playing it.
Give yourself some time.
Or
break,
play
sanity.
or play another game
Yeah.
that that is relaxing. Like, play games to enjoy them.
Yeah.
Like, it's no secret for me that I don't like Mortal Kombat 1. I've complained about the game, but I've stopped playing the game because
Yeah.
the game
it's just not fun.
it's not fun, and I completely stopped playing the game and I stopped competing in it because it's just like, I'm not gonna go through this mental headache. I'll play another fighting game that I know that I'm going to enjoy.
Yeah. Give yourself a peace of mind.
Now, will I come back to Mortal Kombat 1? Probably not.
Yeah.
Unless they change some gameplay stuff.
Which is harder to.
I'm not, but knowing NetherRealm's track history,
They're not.
they're not. So I'm just gonna. All right, well, I'll wait till the. I'll keep it pushing. I'm gonna wait till the next NetherRealm game comes out. But overall, just enjoy games for what it is. Have fun, because otherwise, it's like, what's the point?
Mhm.
You're wasting your time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So that being said, you have any final thoughts, any final say, anything that you want to talk about? The floor is yours. This is your debut interview, so
Hell yeah.
anything you want to share, it's all on you.
Thinking about an all-hero bracket.
An all-hero bracket.
You will have fun whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Now, who's a real hero is a question.
You either retire a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
I love that song.
Yeah, guys, turn on some items. There are other modes in the game. Dude, Mega Smash is ridiculous. I actually did this at an invitational once. I did a Mega Smash with Mega Mushroom on. Do you realize how many Zero deaths are in the game now? Dude, Young Link gets like up B into up air, and it's completely true, and it's like it's generally some of the most stupid fun you'll ever have. Now, granted, I realize that in every weird wonky game mode, or even like off, even some off stages, is like I've noticed that like Hero actually has some advantage there. Like for example, in Woohoo Island, the upward slants make Kaboom, Sizz, Sizzle, Bang, and even Snooze hang around there for a little bit. And in Mega Smash, you get down throw forward smash. And it's completely true at every percent, not every percent, but like at like low percent and 0. But that metagame has so much to really like get developed. If you want to develop a metagame and just have a fresh new feel for the game, just turn on Mega Smash. Some starter characters I recommend is like Ness, because PK Fire actually works really well. Toon Link Young Link up B into up air is really good. And just mess around, see what you can find, right? Like, have you guys ever seen Jalkia?
Jalkia.
It was a training mode combo. This guy was at 300%, and DK did jab, pick up the Pokeball into Palkia, and Palkia's like landing hitbox comboed into jab, right? So they called it Jalkia, jab into Palkia, right? That was one of the most amazing clips I've ever seen, and like to think that's such a small subset of the game. Like, I'll tell you what. How's this for a first step? It's really like rare that it happens, but how about we make this rule change where if there is a sudden death situation, let's not go by percent. Play out the sudden death, right? Just that.
Oh.
right? Just baby steps, right? I think if enough people make a concerted effort, we could probably revive this game, right? Back to probably how it was when it first came out. If we're being honest, there's so much to explore, and spirits. Oh man, like I understand for tournament organizers that's gonna be a nightmare, but
That would be a nightmare.
yeah. So try to figure out some way to circumvent that. But there are just so many options in the game that we're just not using, right? And it's really tragic. We got to have more fun, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
So,
More fun events overall, because that's what's gonna keep people interested and hooked onto the game
for sure.
Or even
For-
locals.
Yeah.
for a longer period of time, because you can only play the same game mode for so long to the point where you're just like, okay,
It will get stale.
yeah.
But yeah, that's about it.
All right, Waluigi, any closing thoughts?
Thank you so much for joining us. Happy to have you. And
Appreciate that.
glad to meet you formally now as the hero of South Florida.
Thank you.
No pun intended.
I appreciate that.
Have another episode.
Absolutely. Polybius, thank you for joining us on this podcast. Great having you on. I understand you traveled very far to get here, but hey, we're glad to have you on. And any future episodes, because I know we will do one down in ROK or whatnot. So
Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely. I would love to be here for that.
yeah, so whenever that happens, when me and Waluigi we make that trip down to ROK, because I think our plan is to interview the owners and whatnot, and then maybe we'll probably organize like a group episode or whatnot.
Oh,
Just to-
group interview would be crazy.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Sure.
So, with that being said, we'd like to thank everybody for watching and tuning in. This has been episode 115 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast, and we are signing out.